So Unrivaled just tweeted more player announcements coming on August 12th. So we can see the 10 players right here. And it is quite interesting. It is quite interesting to see who the 10 are. And you can see like it is some of the biggest names in WNBA. It's a lot of the biggest names in WNBA. Like if you take out Taurasi, maybe, Age, and obviously Age Wilson and Caitlin Clark, it is almost all the biggest names in the W. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, they've obviously got a lot of elite players. They've got an awful lot of players that have been overseas. And it is going to be an interesting one to see what types of players that they can get, what types of players that they will be able to continue to get over the next few years. And we're going to see who is going to be in the league. And obviously the biggest name that people are saying when people are like more rookies, Caitlin Clark. That is the biggest name. And for all the people saying, oh, Caitlin Clark, she doesn't need this league. Of course she doesn't need the league. But at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. But at the same time, the WNBA is where Caitlin Clark wants to play basketball. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's dream was to play in the WNBA and win WNBA championships. Caitlin Clark's dream is not to stick it up to players that were her heroes. Like, that's the one thing I don't get, is that people are like, oh, she needs to stick it up to all these bullies and stuff. It's like, one, no, they weren't. Like, they were just tough with her at the start. You can see at All-Star Weekend they liked her. And two, her dream was to play with these players, beat these players, win championships. I don't think Caitlin Clark cares less about what an angry person behind a computer screen thinks she should or shouldn't do. Hence why she's not on social media. I think we probably see Caitlin Clark in this league. For her, I don't see her being like, if she's someone that doesn't want to be in a big city, I sure as hell don't think she's going to go to Turkey. And if Caitlin Clark, I'm just putting this out there right now, if you think Caitlin Clark not playing basketball for 8 months is better than even playing 3-on-3 against the best players in the world, you are crazy. Nothing can prepare you for the game sharpness. We saw how much Aaliyah Boston struggled. Like, we saw really how much Aaliyah Boston struggled at the start of the season. She was not in, and it wasn't even the shape. Like, she wasn't in brilliant shape. She wasn't incredibly out of shape either. Like, conditioning-wise, she seemed fine getting up and down the floor. The issue with Aaliyah Boston was that she wasn't sharp. Like, game sharpness and conditioning are different. You can do every conditioning drill in the world, and you are not going to be game sharp. And Caitlin Clark is going to need to come in with game sharpness. There's no other better way, I think, for her to get it than playing in this league. There's not. She's going to get equity in the league. So if the league booms, she's got equity in it. And you're being like, oh, but she's making other people rich. Yeah, she's already doing that with the WNBA, CBA. So who cares? And I would be shocked. It would not be a smart decision to take 8 months off. It just wouldn't. It just would not be a smart decision for her to take 8 months off. If she's willing to go, I'm trying to just think even where to go. Like, Fenerbahce just is the best team. Like, if she goes there and is playing with Satu, if they kept Kayla McBride, if they had, what's her name playing? Jeez, I forgot. Jeez, I'm struggling. Emma Miesemann. Like, they've had all these elite players. So, like, that's like a freaking WNBA All-Star team. Like, I'm sorry if you have a team with decent role players around an in-shape Satu, Caitlin Clark, Kayla McBride, and Emma Miesemann. That's probably the best. With a center, let's just say she goes there with Aaliyah Boston. Let's just say that happens. That she goes over there with Aaliyah Boston. And it's Aaliyah, Caitlin, Emma Miesemann, Kayla McBride, and Satu Sabally. I know they don't have a shooting guard. They've got two, like, forwards and a... Sorry, I know they don't have, like... Oh, no, you can. You can play Satu as small forward. Now, that team probably is... That starting five wins the WNBA championships. And that could be potentially the team she's playing on overseas, which is absolutely nuts. So for people being like, oh, it's a lot... Like, she shouldn't go overseas. She should just, like, rest. The option to play with that team, that's going to help her. But also Unrivaled will, because she can work on her one-on-one game. She can work on her moves. She can go up against the best of the best. She can work on her individual defense. Workouts aren't going to do that. They're just not. With the way Caitlin Clark plays, workouts are not going to help her, really. She can improve the floater in workouts until she uses it in the game. Who cares? Who cares? And for people saying, oh, she needs the break. Yeah, she needs a month break. An 8-month break for not an injury has never done anyone good. But you can see right here more rookies. I think Cardoso's a guarantee. I think Cardoso's a near guarantee. I think Rakia Jackson's a guarantee. Obviously, there's not going to be any college players. You're not going to get any of the overseas players to play. Who could be in it? I would if Caitlin Clark's in it, I think we see Kate Martin. I think that would be kind of cool. But for more Olympians, I don't think we see Alyssa Thomas unless she's considering packing it in. I think she'll still go overseas. And she's also not the most interesting player to watch. Brittany Griner, unlikely. Diana Taurasi, very unlikely. Who else on the Olympic team? Like, they've already got Chelsea Gray. It's already most of the Olympic team there. Jackie Young's already there. Kelsey Plum's already there. Jewel Lloyd's already there. So, I'm thinking for more Olympians, maybe it's Aja. Because Aja hasn't gone overseas. And she went to China once, I think, after her rookie year. But Aja doesn't tend to go overseas. So, I think that's probably going to be the case. And for more All-Stars, I think you probably see maybe Jonquel. Jonquel's got that European passport, though, so she can get that big money overseas. I'm trying to think of other players on that All-Star team. Obviously you had Enrique. I think Alicia Gray, more than likely, we see. Obviously Ryan Howard is there. Ryan Howard's freaking insane as far as 3-on-3 is concerned. Alicia Gray, probably. Bree Jones. If I'm not mistaken, the Bree Jones and what's her name, Alyssa Thomas not playing the same overseas team. We might see Bree Jones there. But I think we'll be seeing a lot of WNBA All-Stars. And I think it's going to be interesting. And look, at the end of the day, the most important thing is it doesn't really matter what people on Twitter say or people in the comment section of this video say. I think the most important thing for a Caitlin Clark is that she's as sharp as possible coming into next season. Because I think this is where it's she's probably not going to win an MVP next season. But with the trajectory Caitlin Clark's been going on throughout her rookie year, I think it's not out around possibility that she's in that conversation. Look, if Aja Wilson does what she does this season again next season, Caitlin's not winning MVP, and that's fine. Aja Wilson's just Aja Wilson. But I think if you are hoping for Caitlin Clark to push for an MVP, she's got to either play in this or play overseas. And I think playing in this is going to be less stress on her body. Because a year, especially for a guard, and a guard who handles the ball, and especially needs to work on stuff in a game situation. She didn't come in, she's as good, but she didn't come in with a as polished game. She came in with a more flawed game than an Elena Deladon, who never really went overseas. She came in with less to work on than an Aja Wilson. These players can work out because a lot of their game is there, whereas Caitlin Clark needs to work on the mid-range, the floater, and the one-on-one defense. So, look, if you're asking me what the best decision for Caitlin would be, I think either go to Unrivaled or do whatever the hell you can to get the Fenerbahce. Because, again, if you're playing, and then try to convince Aaliyah Boston to do whatever you're doing. If Aaliyah's staying, which she probably will look to stay, and playing Unrivaled, and she wants to do a lot of broadcasting work, which she's extremely good at, I play wherever Aaliyah Boston is. If I'm Caitlin, wherever Aaliyah Boston is, I'm playing. And also, if you want to just say, bring my friend along and get Kate Martin in as well. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.